Meanwhile, results from an international gold miner that focuses on Africa shows that the South African sector is not alone in battling that lower gold price that Lueta mentioned. Randgold, with operations in the DRC, Senegal and Mali, posted a 17% fall in earnings last year. Its profits fell to £271 million. Randgold's share price rising in London, though, after it offered investors a final dividend of 20% to make up for that fall. Now, of course, the gold price hit a four-year low of $1,144 per ounce in November last year, after sharp falls in 2013. So let's stay with mining, a big focus, and now we cross live to the Mining Indaba in Cape Town that's getting underway today. It brings together mining executives and investors from across the globe. My colleague Nompu Siziba is in the Cape Town Convention Centre. She joins us now. Nompu, a lot of burning issues. What's expected to come out?
That's right, Francis. There are lots of burning issues. Earlier today, there was a session held around the mining industry and how it can guard against diseases within the sector. Our very own Health Minister, Aaron Motsoaledi, was speaking at that particular event. A little bit later, we have discussions that are taking place around commodities and their cycle. Right now, we've seen that the commodity prices have been on a downward trend for quite some time. There is a debate going on as to whether prices are now at their trough or their nadir, and whether there's going to be room for them to start coming up again. So those are the kinds of issues that are being discussed. As Graham Briggs was talking in John's insert there, the issue of electricity in the South African context is a huge issue. Do investors decide to hold back until they get a bit more certainty about power supply in this country, or do they go ahead and invest? The issue of funding is also another issue that's top of the agenda. We did hear in a recent study that it looks as though traditional money, like your regular banks, are less inclined to invest in the mining sector, given the fact that in the past couple of years they've lost out on low valuations on mining stocks, as well as lower commodity prices. So there's a lot of discussion that's going on. And for those people who do have an appetite to invest, the question is, do we invest in greenfield sites, that is brand new sites, or do we invest in a brownfield site? So there's a whole heap that's going on, a lot of discussion going on here in Cape Town.
A lot of hot topics, and the official opening, it's quite unusual. It's always a day later, tomorrow morning, when the mining minister usually speaks. What's expected from him, Nompu?
Yes, Francis, it's a bit of a strange tradition that, things kick off today, but it's only formally opened by the Minister of Mineral Resources on the Tuesday. So Mr. Ramatodi obviously will be speaking to an audience of investors, among other people, and he'll be doing what he can to reassure investors that, of course, South Africa is open for business. South Africa is an attractive place to invest in. Recently, President Jacob Zuma made the move of sending back the Mineral and Petroleum Resources Act, or bill, sending it back to Parliament so that they may look at one or two items that he highlighted as needing attention. That may open a window of opportunity for Parliament to look at the legislation more broadly and deal with those areas that have been highlighted by investors as particularly worrying, one of them being the 20% free carry that government can have. That is, it can have 20% equity share in a new venture in the oil and gas and mining environment, and even elect to purchase more. So those are kinds of issues that hopefully the Parliament will be looking into. So he'll be trying to reassure investors that South Africa is open for business and it's a good place to come and invest. But I think even if he does do that, the speed with which that mining legislation is actually dealt with is more likely to give investors confidence than anything else. The other thing as well, obviously, the electricity problems. He'll have to talk about what initiatives are in place to try and get that sorted, because if you're an investor sitting on the sidelines, you won't be keen to invest in South Africa when you're not quite sure whether you're going to have enough power, and when you do have power, you may be asked to cut it to the tune of 10 to 20%.
Lots of calls for clarity. Final question, a formidable lineup, delegates from all over the world. Tell us about the people who are there.
Right, yes, well, we have a contingent of African ministers who traditionally do come here. This Mining Indaba is about investment in the African continent. It's not just about South Africa. So we have those who come here who speak to potential investors in their countries, speak with our government as well, obviously. And then, interestingly, tomorrow we have the former Prime Minister of the UK, Tony Blair, coming to speak. I was speaking among the journalist contingent, just wondering what it is that he's going to have to say in the context of mining in Africa. So we'll be eagerly awaiting to hear what he has to say about that. And obviously the main speech that we're all really looking forward to tomorrow is that of the Minister of Mineral Resources, Nwaku Ramatlhodi, tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Nompumelelo Siziba at the Mining Indaba in Cape Town, and we'll keep you up to date. We'll bring you live crossings from the Mining Indaba for its duration.